Yo, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen, people of YouTube? Welcome to my first ever Arc Raiders video. And in this video, I'll be going over my settings. If you are here, it's because you are looking for the absolute best settings to give you the highest FPS and the most overall advantage over the enemy. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, going over gameplay, obviously there's nothing much really here. I play on stretch for the HUD. If you want to put it more centered, you can. It really just goes based off how you want. The game default itself is on stretch, and I just found that I like it the best there. I like to show my reload in progress just so I know how many bullets I have in the chamber if I cancel the reload like on your first automatic weapon. But yeah, show damage direction. This is very crucial in an FPS game. It just lets you know as the player where you're actually getting shot from. It's too good to not have. Crossplay, obviously put this on just so you can play with both console players as well as PC players. It's just, honestly, just more people, a lot more fun. So, 100%. Server, I am on the NA, but I put on automatic just so I can play wherever. I don't really care at what time of day I'll be on whatever server. Lag or not, it's not really my forte where I play. I just want to play the game. So, if you want to play on a certain server, you can put it for that certain server. But all of it's completely up to you. Alright, controls, I'm not going to get into this too much. If you're on M and K, the only thing that I changed were shoulder swap and unarmed to my left and right mouse buttons on the side where my thumb is. Other than that, it is default settings. Going into the bread and butter of the actual settings that is going to give you the best advantage over the enemy. So, going into the graphics. Window mode, we have borderless. It's probably the best, just put borderless on. The other ones are not preferred. Your display resolution is going to be based off your PC alone. I run 1920 by 1080. And then if you are going to use your AMD FSR 3 frame generation, put this to max if you're going to use it. If you're not going to use it like myself, then put VSync as well as disabled. And then I have an NVIDIA, so I put my reflex low latency on just to boost my game itself and just optimize how much like my CPU and GPU are actually being used, just to make it so it's better all overall gameplay in terms of all the stuff that is going on with my computer. Frame rate, if you as a player do not stream, record, or anything like that, and you're just playing to play the game, put it on unlimited. If you are streaming or recording or anything of the sort, go to whatever you can handle up to like 200-ish or 244. Like, I would say probably 240, 245. If your PC can handle this while streaming and while gaming, put it up to 245. If not, I play on 160. I found that to be the best because in the actual game when streaming and stuff like that, it'll go down to like a 145 for myself, and that's just where I found it to be the best. But again, if you're not streaming or recording, put on unlimited. It's too good. Alright, upscale resolution. Again, you're going to want this at 100%. It's going to also pretty much copy your display resolution. So if you have a better PC than I do, it's going to be higher. So resolution scaling, I use my NVIDIA, and then same with my NVIDIA DLSS. I use the DLAA for the exact same thing, right? And if you have any questions, comments, concerns on anything, if you look over to the right side, you can actually read exactly what each of it does for the most part. But yeah. Next, I use Transformer because it is the new introduced DLSS 4, which is the higher quality. And it just obviously makes the game look a little bit better. So that is why I use this. If you want, again, you can go with the CNN and it'll go down to a lower quality, but it's still really good. But I prefer Transformer, but that's just personal preference. Field of view. In any FPS game ever made, the higher your field of view, the better you're going to be in overall gameplay. Because if your character is super sucked into the screen at 60 and you can only see like half of your screen is covered by your character, that's going to be bad. Now, if you turn all the way up to 80, you're going to be able to see a lot more view, being enemies, corners, like peeking around corners and stuff like that. It's just going to be overall just so much better to use. Field of view at maxed, okay? So 100% max this out. And then you want to disable motion blur because there's no reason to have motion blur in any video games. It's just terrible for the game itself, and it makes it run very badly and poorly. Now, if you like, you know, being on roller coasters and stuff like that, and you enjoy the, like, dizziness, essentially, like, feel, I guess you could call it, then if you want to play with it enabled, go for it. Me, personally, I keep it disabled for a more better performing game, if that makes sense. All right, getting into the actual bread and butter on how to pretty much get the overall advantage over the enemies. So I run static on my global illumination. This will just go based on performance of your actual game itself. Static is going to give you the smallest performance cost, so it's not going to be anything crazy on your PC. It's just gonna be the best one. If you have like the highest end $50 billion PC, put it on epic. Like, there's no reason not to. But for 99% of players that are gonna be playing this game that don't have $800 million into a PC, just play on static. It's gonna be your best option. All right, now going into the quality, this is gonna be where your bread and butter actually comes from. So I have a custom layout essentially. My view distance is gonna be on epic so that I can see everything that I need to very far away. Anti-aliasing, this just, from what I've heard, you don't need to put this up crazy high if you want. I haven't seen any difference between low and epic, so you can put it on whatever you really want to. It's nothing crazy. It's just like corners and stuff like that from what I'm tracking. Like certain objects in the game will look a little bit different. So I put it on medium, but again, this doesn't change anything. If you want to put it at epic, you can. Shadows, if you don't care about shadows, you can put this on low. The only reason I have it on medium is just for the pure fact that if I am playing not a night raid and it is a day raid, and I see somebody trying to corner peek a building or a wall, I'll be able to see their shadow in some areas of the match or of the maps itself. I'll be able to see some people's shadows while they're trying to like camera peek me essentially, and I'll be able to see their shadow. Then I know that they're there and I can take a different route and probably flank them for the most part, or change the position of the fight to be in my favor. So if you don't care about that, if you're not that sweaty, you can indeed put this on low, but I put it on medium. Post-processing I also have on medium. This is just going in for like motion blur, bloom, lens flares, anything that's like super big explosion type stuff. You don't want this to be crazy high because it'll just like mess with your eyeball and your vision essentially in terms of being a gamer. It'll just draw your eyes to somewhere else on the map or something else within the game itself to where you're not going to be looking at the enemy. So put post-processing not on epic, put it on either low or medium. I keep it on medium and I feel fine. All right, textured. This is going to be completely based on your PC. I prefer to play on either epic or high, and this will just allow you to see everything more clearly and fluently throughout the match itself or throughout the game itself. In terms of like crates and loot and all the other stuff like that, this will allow you to see everything within the game perfectly fine. I play on high, but again, if you want to put on epic, go for it. It's completely up to you. It doesn't change too much, but I keep mine on high. So next, going into the effects, the reflections, foliage, and global illumination, they're all going to be on low. So for the effects, it's going to just be like random stuff like with robots and blood and just random stuff throughout the game. I keep this on low because I don't care to see any of that stuff. So like ash coming off like, like fires and stuff like that, or like, just some random in-game stuff. It'll keep this to a minimum so that you're not really getting distracted by it. Very helpful. Reflections, you don't need to be looking at yourself while you're trying to, play a looter and shooter. You're not going to be looking in a mirror or like a car reflection. This doesn't matter. Turn this on low. Foliage, this is probably the biggest impact on the game itself. If you have this on high, people can hide in bushes and ambush you, jump you, and pretty much play with your emotions at the end of the day. So play with this on low, and you'll be able to see right through the bushes and actually just start killing people a lot more often, all right? This is one of the biggest impacts that I've seen within my gameplay by putting this on low and not epic. Again, this, I don't really know what it does. I don't really care. Put it on low. It has a moderate impact on your GPU, so put it on low because we don't want to, mess with our GPU. We want to have the best performance possible and the overall advantage over the enemy. So put this on low. Next, I like to have my performance overlay as simple, and it's in the very top right-hand corner. When I'm inside of a game, it'll show my GPU, or not my GPU, my FPS while I'm playing. Again, it has detailed as well, and then you can disable it. If you want more detailed stuff, go for it. But if you don't really care about that, you just want to see your FPS, put it on simple. If you don't want to see anything, put it as disabled. And then these two automatically are turned on throughout the game itself, so I just keep them turned on. I'm not going to mess with any of that stuff. All right, getting into the audio. So this is purely based on your ears, your headset, your microphone, anything of the sort. And then if you're streaming or if you're not streaming. So one big thing, night mode. Turn night mode on by default, it does come off. You want this to be turned on. So like if you can faintly hear it off in the background. Like right now, being that it's off, you don't really hear like too much of the background. But now when it's turned on, you can hear like the heartbeat monitor. You can hear people talking over the microphone, stuff like that. It pretty much amplifies lower quality type of sound. So i.e. footsteps, people breathing hard because they're wounded, people healing. Night mode, having this turned on is a huge advantage because you can hear people healing and where they are coming around corners and stuff, all right? You can hear people crouch walking with this on. I've done it. I've heard it. It's insane. 100% turn this on. Next, I have 80% on master volume just for the pure fact that I don't want to rupture my eardrums with my headset. And so, yeah. Again, depending on your own headset, if you have earbuds, anything of the sort, this is going to purely depend on you. So, yeah. 100% have effects turned all the way up. This is going to be everything within the game that you need to hear. So people reloading, swapping weapons, you know, searching bodies, healing, literally anything in the game will be the effects sound mode. All right. So you want this to be 100% turned up. Music. I don't care for music too much in this game. I always go to my other monitor and put music on from there. So if you want to turn this on or off, it's completely up to you. For streamers, YouTube content creators of the sort, I recommend a lot of people turn this off just because nobody really cares about like the random music going on within the game, okay? Dialogue volume, you don't really need this too much. It just for like your questers and stuff like that when they talk to you. Again, you can turn this on to whatever, but yeah, I keep mine around 15-20%. All right, party chat voice volume. This is going to just be your in-game volume. It's not your Discord chats or your party chats or anything of the sort. This is going to be your in-game. Your friends can only hear you party chat voice. So keep this at 100%. So then you're not rupturing your buddy's eardrums, you know, by screaming in the mic and stuff like that. This will just be like your normal voice, your normal tone of voice, everything of the sort. This, you can kind of mess with this one depending on how crazy your mic is. If your mic doesn't pick up your voice all that well, turn this up. If your mic is super sensitive, turn it down. I don't really use too much proxy chat just because I'm here to kill people, you know? I'm here to take all the loot for myself. But if you are one that wants to make friends and, you know, go in solo raids and party with people and just make friends, but that way, 100% turn this up or down depending on how sensitive your microphone is, but that'll be completely up to you. All right, and then obviously, these are all going to just be the basic stuff, you know, turned on and off. So, like, you have your push to talk, your toggle to talk, and then you have, if your voice chat is on or off, what headset you have your input in, so whatever your microphone is. I use my Astros, and then I also use my Astros for my in-game, for my ears, so I can hear everything through my ears and not from, like, my PC or something like that, or, like, a monitor or speakers, right? And then, yeah. Mainly, if you want to put toggle to talk on, you can. I think push to talk is going to be your best option. So whatever you have an easy keybind, just put on push to talk. It'll allow you just to overall talk to people and then scheme behind their backs if that's your forte. But yeah, the rest of this, I have this turned off. I don't really care about any of this. Don't really know what it does. And then I have show subtitles on. If you don't care about that, turn it off. And then yeah, I have the basic controller settings. I don't play controller on this game. If people want me to, I can go over this in a future video. But as of right now, I just have all the basics turned on for this. The only thing I will recommend for controller is have tap to interact. Because on, like as like a base game, I think it has prioritize interact. The only issue with that is if you have tap to interact on, you will actually tap to interact with your looting, but you can hold your square or your X or whatever it is for whatever controller you're on. You can hold that to get a guaranteed reload instead of prioritizing the interact. This will automatically throw you into either a reload animation or a looting animation. 9 times out of 10, it'll be a looting animation getting you killed in a fight, all right? So I would highly recommend if you play controller to put this on tap to interact. It'll be your best overall fit. All right. But yeah, those are the settings that I use. Those are the best settings that I have seen to give you the best overall gameplay itself and just give you the highest advantage over the enemy. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, or if you're new, there has been a bug going around on YouTube where it doesn't, or it is currently taking away subscribers for no reason. Like, people are getting just bumped off. I don't know why. It's happened to other YouTubers that I've talked to. So if you are a returning subscriber, just make sure that you are still subscribed right down on the bottom, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.